Warning. What you are about to hear are the final words of 26-year-old Alex Grant, who documented the last horrifying hours of his life from his apartment on his laptop from a small town in Indiana. Listen at your own risk. For as long as I can remember, I've always been afraid of thunderstorms. It's something that dates back to when I was a little kid. Storms have always frightened me. Not the daytime storms. I could tolerate those. My living nightmares were the storms that crept in during the night. I never understood why that was, but whenever a thunderstorm rolled over our house, I found myself frightened shitless and hopping into my parents' bed desperately seeking safety. The protection they offered always helped, but of course as I got older that became less and less of an option. So to adapt, I chose to drown out the storms by listening to music through my headphones until I fell asleep. I didn't understand back then where my fears of nighttime thunderstorms came from. But what I knew for sure was that they were totally real. As I grew older, my fear of thunderstorms never faded. I could be in a deep sleep and find myself instantly awaking in terror when the boisterous clap of thunder hit my ears. My heart would immediately start racing. I'd find myself panicked and breathing like I had just sprinted a quarter mile. I could feel a sense of impending danger engulfing me like suffocating humidity on a 100-degree day. I lived with this nagging condition all the way up until my mid-20s, and it may sound weird to say, but over those years, I had kind of gotten used to it. Sure, it was embarrassing to explain to my roommate and girlfriend why I was so terrified of thunderstorms, especially given the fact I didn't have a legitimate reason to be. That drastically changed a few months after my 26th birthday, and the little comfort zone I had with my condition came to a crashing end. It was around then that my girlfriend had talked me into visiting a psychic, to see if they could shed some light on my problem. I wasn't all that into the idea because I had pretty much spent my earlier life talking to the various psychiatrists my parents sent me to, but none of them could explain to me why I was the way I was. I felt going to a psychic would be a harmless waste of $40, so I reluctantly agreed. Little did I know then that that would be the worst mistake of my life. As soon as the psychic set eyes on me, she totally freaked out. She kept saying I shouldn't be there and that I needed to go. At first, I thought she was crazy, but then I realized she must have been seeing something that I couldn't. I tried to get an understanding on what she saw because for the first time ever, I felt like I finally met someone who could actually see the terror I'd been feeling all my life. The heavy-set older woman didn't want to have anything to do with me though. I pulled out my wallet and placed $40 on her table and pleaded with her to tell me what she saw. I begged her to tell me why she said I shouldn't be there. I needed to know what made her react to me this way. She looked at me with a glare that sent a chill through me. The expression on her face was the very personification of being terrified. In an eerie tone of voice, she answered me with one horrifying sentence. She said, "There's a demon attached to you." She then snatched the money off the table and rushed off into a back room, ordering me and my girlfriend to leave her shop. My heart began to race, making it hard for me to swallow. I believe my girlfriend was just as shaken up as I was, but she tried to pass off what the old woman said as the ramblings of a scam artist. But I don't think either of us truly believed that. Life for me changed after that night. Hearing the old woman's ominous words must have triggered something inside of me, but that was only something I discovered a month or so later. It was probably 1 o'clock in the morning when a burst of thunder suddenly woke me. I reached out to the nightstand and grabbed my phone and headphones. I turned on Pandora and cranked the volume up to a level that was just loud enough to drown out the storm. I laid my head back into my pillow and shut my eyes. As I laid there, I felt the normal feelings of impending danger, only this time it was accompanied by an unsettling sensation that I had never experienced before. I felt as if I wasn't alone, like someone or something was there in the room with me, watching me. That eerie feeling grew so strong that I eventually felt compelled to open my eyes and scan the room, just to prove to myself that I was alone. However, upon opening my eyes, all I could see was darkness. A flash of lightning briefly illuminated my room, and in that split second, something in the far-off corner of my room caught my attention. I stared at the corner in curiosity, waiting anxiously for the next flash of lightning. When it finally arrived, what I saw looked very much like a shadowy figure. I sat up in my bed and shrugged my headphones off. Panic, I yelled, "Who's there?" I listened closely for any type of response or sound, but there was nothing but another roll of thunder. Another flash of lightning illuminated my room again. This time I could see the shadowy figure clearly. It was nearly the same height of my 9-foot-tall bedroom and had a long, skinny frame. After another short series of lightning strikes, I could also see that whatever the hell this thing was, it was making its way towards me. I jumped out of bed and ran over to the light switch. I flicked it on. When I turned my eyes back toward the corner, the shadowy figure was gone. I kept the light on my room for the rest of the night, and the following morning I reached out to the psychic who freaked out on me. I told her what happened to me the previous night and begged her for an explanation on what was happening to me. What she told me was the one thing nobody would want to hear. She said that I was being stalked by a demon who's been after me my whole life. She said it's been using thunderstorms as a conduit to torment me, but for a reason she didn't quite understand, it never had the strength before to come after me physically. Until now. She warned me that whatever this thing was would only come after me during thunderstorms in the night, so if I wished to stay safe I should seek the help of a priest and start sleeping with the lights on. I followed her advice to a T and sought the help of a local church. A priest came out and blessed my apartment, but for an added degree of safety, I continued to sleep with the lights on. Amazingly, that worked perfectly for the future thunderstorms that came afterwards. Even the impending sense of danger that typically accompanied the nighttime thunderstorms was gone. It wasn't the most ideal way to remedy my situation, but it was certainly one that was working. But that was only until about an hour ago when the latest storm to pass over our city knocked out the power, causing a major blackout in my area. The only source of illumination I have now are that created by my cell phone and the light given off by my laptop screen, both of which are on the verge of dying, while the storm outside continues to rage without any signs of relent. To help me cope with the undeniable feeling of danger that was resurfacing with a vengeance, I opened Microsoft Word and started typing. That way if something were to happen to me, people would know my story. Sadly, if you're hearing this story now, that means the batteries of my computer and phone didn't outlast the storm. Even now, as I switch my computer to power saving mode and dim the screen to preserve what little juice I have left, I'm getting that all too familiar feeling that I'm not alone in my room and that I'm being watched by something with evil intent. You may be wondering, why don't I just leave? Trust me, I would love to, but there's really no place to go when you're trying to escape darkness and it's the middle of a stormy night and you're in the center of a citywide blackout. If I could, I would get in my car and drive until dawn, but unfortunately, I can't find my keys. I used a flashlight on my phone to try and find them, but all that resulted in was me losing 30% of my battery life. I'm all but certain that whatever's after me is hiding them from me. I've never been more scared in my entire life. The following afternoon, Alex's roommate returned home and discovered Alex's lifeless body sitting in a chair in front of his desk. His face was horribly contorted, frozen in an expression of pure terror, and his skin was a grayish hue, like his body had been completely drained, just like the laptop and cell phone set in front of him on his desk. Strangely, also on his desk were his keys, the very same ones he was unable to locate the night before. Unable to determine the cause, the county coroner ruled Alex's death as unknown. His parents had him cremated and now keep his ashes in their home. They have since made statements to family members and close friends about feeling the same sense of impending doom during thunderstorms that Alex had.